guys, welcome to Tecra's channel. My name is Anna and today I'm going to talk with our guest Krzysztof Piech, our CEO, about blockchain. Hello Krzysztof,
Hello.
It's nice to see you. You are the expert in blockchain and you work, apart from working for Tecra, you also work at Warsaw University.
Yes.
And you're the blockchain, the director of the blockchain technology department, something like that. Am I okay? Okay, so could you tell us actually what is blockchain? Because very often people keep asking about what is blockchain. When I try to answer them, they are confused. Could you tell us, like in short, what is it actually?
The answer is can be very different, especially if we talk to the IT guys, or maybe to normal people from the streets, or maybe to investors. So then you have different answers. It's much easier to answer the question what is internet, because it's obvious now. However, 20 years ago it wasn't so obvious, similarly to the situation that we have now with blockchain. So from one point of view, it's a kind of a distributed database, but it would be too simple if it's only so. Blockchain brought the solutions to internet that didn't exist for many years. We couldn't send money so easily like we can send emails. Of course, it's still a little bit complicated with cryptocurrencies, but this is what actually we can do, to send to somebody something that has some value, even millions of dollars, without a fractional deposit that we have so far in the traditional banking system. So that can be another explanation to directly to, let's say, normal people. Then investors would expect the information, but Bitcoin, the first implementation of blockchain technology, is a speculative asset. So tell me what will be the future price of Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. Then we have this aspect of blockchain, but this technology also brings some other challenges and opportunities as well. Let's imagine what can happen in the future if we could easily tokenize, or it means transform to digital version some shares of companies, some other financial instruments, or maybe even the patent rights that so far existed only in a traditional version, both on paper or maybe in some electronic forms in some central registers. If we apply blockchain technology to that, thanks to this invention, people from different parts of the world could participate in some shares of any financial instrument or of anything that is stored digitally. If it is ownership of a patent or music or anything else, like the shares of a company or even the government's bonds in the future. And so the explanation what is blockchain is not easy, but thanks to this kind of descriptive approach, I could tell you how we can understand what is this without going into some technical details.
So could you tell me what are the advantages then, or disadvantages, whether there is more advantages or disadvantages, because it's also very speculative among people.
Technology itself brings a lot of new things, so it's revolutionary technology, like internet was over 20 years ago. So, of course, like every emerging technology, it has a lot of problems that still are solved, but hundreds of startups in the world work on this. Some of them concentrate on blockchain infrastructure, some of coding, some of, and this is the majority of startups, on application of different applications of blockchain technologies. One of the largest pros of this technology is that is bringing the decentralization. So through that, people can have more trust to different parties, different companies, individuals spread around the world. So this trust issue is very important here. That also brings the security. Although we hear a lot about exchanges that are falling, crypto exchanges and so on, but not especially if we speak about centralized exchanges, and this is the majority of them, they are not a part of the blockchain infrastructure. This is application of blockchain technology, not the part of the infrastructure. So we may say that blockchain it brings safety. At the moment, it is the safest IT information technology in the world. No one has ever hacked Bitcoin, although billions of dollars are sent and stored on Bitcoin blockchain. And then the transformation of our contemporary financial system to blockchain will be rather automatic. I mean, it's a matter of time when the whole world will go to this direction. And that also brings some concerns, like for instance, there are a lot of intermediaries, banks, brokerage houses and so on, and they earn money on being the part of this system, but some of this function will no longer exist in the future because blockchain technology will give this freedom, this democratization, this security that already that so far was provided by traditional intermediaries. So I would say there are more pros than cons, but as with every technical progress, of course there are people that are not happy, so we could see that a lot of times, many times in the past.
Okay. You're saying that there is more pros than cons, so why Tecra decided to go into blockchain?
This is one of the most frequently asked questions from technical guys, because it's so easy nowadays to apply blockchain technology without creating a new blockchain. So people use tokens on existing blockchains, much easier, less costly, less time consuming and so on. But then we can speak about the goals of the project. Tecra project is a long-term goal. It is not concentrated on issuing a new cryptocurrency or token only, because we decided to have our own blockchain in order to build on this the decentralized exchange. And that will be the platform that will help the scientists, inventors to have their patent and other intellectual property rights quoted or traded on this blockchain. Traditionally, if we are to do something like this, we would have to rely on existing blockchains like Ethereum, EOS, or some others, with all the problems, technical problems that these exchanges have. Having somehow control over the development process of our blockchain, we can design it, we can tailor suit it to the needs of the exchange that we will have in the future. At the moment, the team of developers work from here. In the future, I hope that some other developers will join us as well to have the truly decentralized development team, and thanks to that we'll also bring another layer of security to our system. Of course, it is much more difficult to have on blockchain because we must care about the infrastructure, the costs, and so on. We had to design the whole system of benefits to the participants of this system, to the masternode owners, to traditional miners as well. But we believe that thanks to that we'll have the blockchain with smart contract features that will enable us to create a decentralized exchange. And all of that will create a coherent system. And without that, we wouldn't be able to make such a large improvement to the things that we are to do. We are waiting at the moment the decision of National R&D Center. We applied for the research grant on this. If we succeed, then we'll have 3 years of intensive R&D works on that. And we hope that we'll create the first in the world platform to trade on digital rights to patents and some other things. Maybe in the future also the shares of some startups and other companies. That is the long-term goal. But so far the first step was to have our own infrastructure, of course, shared by others. Because we have about 500 masternodes, and it is and this infrastructure is owned by many people. But anyway, that was supposed to be, let's say, a new project and not linked to any other, because the specifics of what we are to do is much different from the purpose and general purpose of Ethereum and other blockchains as well.
So my last question is, because some people say that you don't need blockchain to do what you're doing. Is it right? Can Tecra go without blockchain and succeed with the project?
It could be possible to build a system of smart contracts and to build a decentralized exchange on this. It's possible, but then this exchange will be as bad as the blockchain it is based on is. And we know that Ethereum has its own problems at the moment. Some other major blockchains with smart contracts also have their own problems. But we want to develop the team of developers that will help us go our own way. Not repeating the mistakes that the others do, rather to look at the things that other teams didn't to avoid this kind of problems. So one of the issues that we solved is the problem with mining. It is very centralized. We see that in Bitcoin, in many other cryptocurrencies, and we want to solve this problem by applying the ASIC resistance protocol that will help us with solving this problem. And we couldn't do this if we have to build our exchange, our clients on other platform. It is a much more different approach, but we don't want to do a simple pump and dump scheme like many I see on startups. This is the long-term project for the scientists who are also very forward-looking persons, not profit maximizers in the short run. So we hope that in about 3 years we'll be on the market with our exchange, and then we'll enable many scientists from different universities, even from leading universities in the world, to have their patent and other rights to their intellectual properties quoted on our exchange.
Okay, so I hope, guys, now you understand more or less what blockchain is and why Tecra goes into blockchain. But if you have any other questions, please feel free to send them to us, and we will try to answer them in our next videos. Thank you very much for the conversation.
Thank you.
And have a lovely day. Bye.